Hey guys, welcome to Get Life Podcast Kunai. It's me, Bish, as always, and you might be wondering, Bish, what the hell's going on? You haven't been doing episodes. Look, I say that every time we do a Kunai episode now. I've been taking the time to kind of focus on myself. No, I've actually been doing a lot of recordings recently, and I told you guys that we've had some very exciting things lined up. We have a special guest today, friend of the show, Cruz.
Hello, hello. How's it going, everybody?
Jordan, I don't think they can hear you. If that makes sense. Either way, that's fine. Jordan, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. You know, I'm just hanging around here in Texas. I had a ham sandwich earlier, so it was pretty delicious. Chocolate chip cookie, some ginger ale, and things have been really, really well. My girlfriend and I are actually going to be adopting some kittens, and they should be coming in tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're really excited about that. We had to get some cat trees for them. So I've never really been much of an animal owner, so this is going to be like a whole new experience for me.
I guess it will be a bit of a learning experience as well.
A little bit, yeah. We've been having to watch some videos because there was so many things that I just didn't know about cats.
Okay, care to share a cat fact with us?
Yeah, I mean, I know they said that cats, you know, whenever it's like they do something, you know, you always want to try and redirect that energy into something else. So it's like if they're scratching on the couch, instead of, you know, like getting mad at them and like yelling and being like, you know, oh no, you can't do that like you would maybe a dog. For a cat, it's like, hey, instead of scratching here, here's actually an actual scratching post that you can scratch on, and let me put some like double-sided tape on this so you don't scratch the couch anymore. Also, I didn't know that like cats, it's something about like eating, they associate eating with like something, so like they don't go to the bathroom like in places that they eat or something. But like, yeah, we've been watching a lot of videos, and I'm almost at cat overload right now.
How many cats have you adopted?
So we've adopted two.
Okay.
My girlfriend already has one, so it's going to be a 3-cat household.
Okay, nice. I mean, it might get a bit hectic, I'd imagine, with
A
3
little
cats
bit.
running around.
A little bit, but I think we're prepared.
Good, that is good. We didn't come here to actually talk about cats as much as I would love to. We're here to talk about anime, and we're going to be talking about a anime film, which is actually very odd for us to do on Kunai, because normally we talk about standalone series, season 1, season 2, that kind of stuff. But this is a absolutely wonderful film that Jordan is a part of. It's called Sing a Bit of Harmony. It's won Best Animated Film at the New York City Film and Television Festival, an audience award at Scotland Loves Anime, the festival in Glasgow, and it was recently named a finalist for the New York Animation Film Awards. So this film is a pretty big deal. I believe it's going to come out on the let me just check. It's going to be out by the time you listen to this. The film is out. Go and watch it in your theaters. It's out in the English and, you know, sub versions in Japanese as well, but we're here to talk about English because I've watched it in English and Jordan's in it. Jordan, who do you play in this film?
I play Toma in the film. He is a lovable being of a character. He's a little bit more on the shy side, a little bit more on the introverted side. He's the kind of character that he loves electronics. He's part of the electronics club. He's kind of the guy that when things go poorly with like, you know, any machinery or something, like the friend group's always like, hey, you know, can you do something about this? And he's always just willing to help. You know, he never complains really, and he wants to be there for, you know, the people that he cares about.
You know what? I'm just gonna say this. Toma is one of my favorite characters, and I'm not saying that because you're recording today. I will say this. I do relate to Toma a lot. You know, like being in high school and just being just really awkward and just like messing around with like because look, I'll be honest with you. If you see my bedroom and like my office, it's covered in like junk, like electronic junk. Like, you know, there's a Commodore 64 that's in pieces. There's like a Raspberry Pi hanging around somewhere. I mentioned before the recording, I have like a little Google Home thing that starts talking randomly. Like, there's electronics everywhere. And when I saw Toma, I was like, this is me. I can dig with Toma. You know, Toma is my guy.
Oh yeah.
I will say this though, I don't like calling him Toma. To me, he is Professor Toma. I know that was a joke at the beginning, but I really like that name. I really like the nickname of Professor Toma.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, because this is I would say, one of your bigger roles. Right, in the previous episode, we talked about the other anime that you've been in, transitioning over from standard 24 episode anime per season, that kind of stuff, into a film. How does it change on a day-to-day basis? Is your day-to-day the same when you're going into the studio to record? Or in this case, because of COVID, did you record this remotely? How did that kind of work?
Yeah, so for this film, I actually did have the pleasure of recording in studio.
Okay.
I think they were trying to get as many people to record in studio if possible, just to have, the same kind of sound quality. But as far as the differences or the changes, it was a little bit different, because normally with, other shows or episodic anime, a lot of times we'll go in and we won't really get a chance to like see the full story all at once. It's like we're going in for a week, we're doing this thing, and then maybe our character doesn't come back. So then we're waiting like 2 or 3 weeks before our character comes back, and then maybe we say like another 2 lines in an episode, and then, you know what I mean? Whereas with this film, we got a chance to kind of just play out the whole movie, just one session at a time. We kind of got, for lack of a better term, a better full, whole picture, as opposed to just like little episodic, like, oh, okay, I'm kind of just seeing this one scene in this one episode. It was a lot of fun, and I think it definitely helped to just kind of pull different emotions, and just knowing the full story, helped to understand, and I think it helped overall, just the experience.
One thing that I was wondering, because obviously it is a film, and you've mentioned that there is a level of emotion in this film that I don't feel that I've seen in a while from anime or in films in general. So were you guys recording in separate booths? Were you able to see each other, or was it done in isolation?
It was done in isolation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we did not, like, whenever I would go to the studio, because Funimation has been very, very, safe when it comes to, because of COVID and everything. I went in, there was nobody else there, not even the director, no engineer. It was just me. Caitlin would talk to us over Discord or Skype or whatever it was they were using, Source Connect, Source Connect now. Yeah, she would direct us, and we would just do our thing, and hopefully it turned out good.
I like your energy, because to be honest with you, I can't say much about the film, but I will say this. Guys, go and watch the film. Buy tickets. You can buy tickets now. Like, go to your local cinema and buy yourself some tickets. It's a beautiful film, and I think you guys did an excellent job.
Thank you.
In dubbing this film. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, sometimes some dubs can feel a bit off, if that makes sense, right?
Okay.
But to me, it felt natural. It felt as if this film was designed for the dub.
Yeah.
That sounds really weird, but it just goes to show how talented you guys are as a team. From voice actors to directors to everyone that sort of played their part, because this isn't an easy feat. And I mentioned before the recording that even the music, the songs that Shion sings throughout the film, is dubbed, which is an incredible feat.
Yes, I agree with you. Megan Shipman is a phenomenal singer. Brina Palencia did an amazing job, just adapting the songs. And honestly, seeing it, I was just like, I was blown away. I was like, dude, this is so good. Oh my goodness. And I'm not saying that just because I'm in it, I was stunned, because it's not often that we get a chance to dub music, dub songs in English, because it's a lot of work. It takes extra time, which unfortunately, sometimes we just don't have, because schedules sometimes can just be very go, or there's deadlines. So getting a chance to adapt, the songs into English and actually seeing like not me, but Brina, but then, seeing the finished product, it was incredible, man. It was incredible.
Once again, I'm starstruck in a way. You know what I mean? There's not much for me to say, and it's weird because I'm a podcaster. It's what I've been doing for like 12 years now, so I really should be knowing how to talk, but this film just sort of left me speechless. I mentioned at the beginning that I don't think I've seen a film like it, and I don't think I will see a film like it in my lifetime. And I think it means a bit more to me because I didn't know this, and to be honest with you, I should have read the press release, but I didn't realize that it's JC staff that are animating, in production with Funimation to produce this. And JC staff is like my favorite animation studio. So
there we go.
When I saw the logo, I was like, from the beginning, I was like, yes, this film's going to be good. No doubt about it. And I wasn't disappointed. I was not disappointed. I wanted to know, with your character, Toma,
Yes.
how do you get into his mindset? How do you relate to the character?
Okay, Toma's an interesting character because I kind of almost feel like he was me in high school. You know, I was not the most popular kid. I was a little bit socially awkward. I would definitely say I was more introverted then than I am now. You know, he had his friend group and, you know, he cared about his friend group and, you know, did his best to help. So it wasn't too difficult getting into the mindset of Toma because it was just me kind of pulling from, you know, past life experiences. But I do think, and this is just, you know, me personally, I think it just really hits home, this film, because it's very realistic compared to what a lot of, you know, what we might see in anime. You know, because anime can be over the top and wacky, which is great, but I think that this film pulls from very real places, very real problems. At least for me, you know, I would think that a lot of people might look at some of these characters, including Toma, and just kind of say, hey, you know, like that was kind of me in high school, or hey, you know, like I know what this kid's going through because I've gone through the same thing. So yeah, I think that definitely helped in my performance, was just kind of seeing the realism and just, you know, connecting with that and saying, yeah, this was kind of me. So there we go.
You brought that Jordan energy into
thank you.
Toma. One thing that you mentioned, which I thought was very, very interesting, was that it's unlike any other anime in the sense that it's quite realistic. But you're saying it's realistic, yet there's all of this technology in it. And to be honest with you, I didn't feel that it was out of place. Even though the technology is like maybe 100 years in the future, 200 years in the future, but it doesn't feel like Sword Art Online or like Overlord, you know, where there's just crazy stuff that's going on. But it's interesting that you say that, because I've noticed with a lot of anime films, they tend to be more grounded in reality. Yes, they have some crazy plot points, but they tend to be in more relatable. And I think possibly the reason is because with films, you're sort of appealing to a more of a mass market, you know? There will be people that will go to their local cinema, they'll see the poster, not knowing anything about this film, because this is an original animation. You know, there's no manga or anything to support it. So they'll see this and they might not even watch anime, you know? And they'll be like, oh, what is this film? I've seen it's won some awards. I'll go and give it a go. And I think it's stuff like that, the way it's set up, people will relate to it a lot. As you mentioned, it's fantastic. And, you know, stuff like that is going to get more people into the theaters. It's going to get more people watching anime as well, because I know for a fact my twin sister, she's been watching anime recently, and she's starting with a lot of these anime films. And I think it's because of the fact that a lot of them, like I mentioned, are set in, I don't want to say modern times, but like set in a level of reality that is relatable to newcomers.
Yes.
And but we're going to go on a short break now, a little bit of an ad break. You might hear an ad for Crunchyroll. We love Crunchyroll here. And when we return, I want to talk about the film itself and its plot, because we didn't talk about that. We should have talked about that at the beginning. But you know what? I was so engrossed in the conversation with Jordan. I haven't spoken to him for like 2 years, but we're returning and it's as if we're talking every day, if that makes sense.
There we go.
So we'll see you guys on the other side. Right before we get into the ads, I want to remind you guys that we do have a Patreon page where you can support us directly for only £5 a month. It means that you don't need to listen to ads like this, as amazing as they are. It's a no-brainer. You get early access to our show as well as ad-free content for all of the podcasts that we do. Or if you decided, well, I might go for a one-time donation, you could do so on our coffee page. That's coffee.com/Get Alive Podcast. That's ko-fi.com/Get Alive Podcast. Our Patreon is patreon.com/Get Alive Podcast. Also, consider subscribing to the podcast on whichever platform you're listening to, whether that's iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, even on YouTube. Subscribing is free. It also means that you keep up to date with the content that we do post for all of our podcasts. If you do leave a like on YouTube, or if you give us a 5-star rating on the podcast platforms, it really does help us get up in the rankings. It really does help us get more sponsorships. it helps us out a lot. You don't know how much that actually helps us. So consider leaving us a positive review, telling us all your thoughts as well, and stuff that we can improve on really does help me out a lot as well. Gives me a motivation. So subscribe, consider leaving a 5-star review or a comment if you're on YouTube, and enjoy the ad break and the rest of this episode. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Crunchyroll. As you guys know, Crunchyroll has been sponsoring us for a while now, and we love them, and we know you guys love them too. So get your asses over to Crunchyroll, where you can enjoy the world's largest anime collection for only £6.50 a month. That's cheaper than pretty much all of the other streaming services out there, and you get quite a lot of anime, over 30,000 anime episodes, and anime 1 hour after it airs in Japan. You can enjoy sub or dub in multiple languages from what I've seen on Crunchyroll. We use it personally on the podcast, and I'll be honest with you, it's one of my favorite services to use for anime streaming because of all of the options that you get. If you go for the mega fan option, you do get the ability for offline viewing. So if you're on the train, or if you're going to a place where there is no internet, you can save for offline viewing and still enjoy your anime. Imagine if you're on a road trip, right? You're traveling across America, or you're traveling across the UK, and you want to watch anime, your friend's driving, and you're like, you know what? I want to watch some Spy Family, or I want to watch some Attack on Titan, or some Dr. Stone. You can probably guess which anime I'm watching currently. If you want to enjoy anything, you're spoiled for choice with Crunchyroll. Not only that, you've got ad-free anime, and as a bonus, you get access to the Crunchyroll manga as well, which is actually really cool if you go for your fan or mega fan options there as well. I'd recommend actually purchasing the 12-month mega fan because you're saving 16% off, and you don't need to worry about it, right? Stream on 4 devices at the same time, which is actually fantastic, especially if you're in a big family and everyone wants to watch different anime. You could do that with the mega fan option, as well as offline viewing, and you get a discount on the Crunchyroll store if you want to buy Nendroids or figurines or merchandise directly from Crunchyroll. Once again, you can watch anytime, anywhere, stream on your desktop, mobile, gaming consoles even, and other streaming devices that include iOS, Android, Apple TV, Xbox, Roku, PS4/the PS5. So it's a no-brainer, guys. If you love anime, or even if you don't like anime and you want to know more about it, go to crunchyroll.com/kunai, or go to getalifepodcast.com/Crunchyroll. It's the same link. They work on the same way, and sign yourself up for a 14-day free trial. You can cancel anytime, but just make sure you guys sign up, give it a try. If you wanted to think, oh, what was this anime thing about? Give it a try. Crunchyroll.com/kunai. That's crunchyroll.com/KUNAI. Back onto the episode. Okay, we are back. That was like maybe 5 minutes for you guys. It was literally 2 seconds for me and Jordan. Jordan, how was that break for you? How was that 2-second break? Was it all right?
It was amazing. It was amazing. I was gonna take a sip of water, and we were back before I even got the chance.
Exactly, and that's how it is, because we have to work hard. I forgot to mention what the film is about. So, Sing a Bit of Harmony tells the story of a beautiful, mysterious Shion who transfers to a high school where she quickly becomes popular for her open-hearted personality and exceptional athletic abilities. And she turns out to be an AI in its testing phase. So they're testing out this AI in a school. No one else knows about it except for her friends, which is really cool. I mean, that idea in itself is really nice. I like the idea of that kind of story. It allows for certain plots to go on, and I know this sounds really, really weird, but I feel that I've learned how to be human from Shion in a way.
Okay.
You're sort of seeing her explore what it means to be human, right? Because there's always this sort of fascination or obsession with, are you happy? Are you happy?
Yes.
And obviously that is quite difficult for an AI or a robot to understand, because you don't think that they have any sort of emotions as such. But throughout the film, you see how she's learning. You're seeing how she's helping people through the songs as well. I think that was pretty cool. Like, it was really nice. Like, there are moments in the film where an altercation might happen, or there will be an event. I don't want to go into it because I don't want to spoil the film for you guys, but it's resolved through song, almost like a musical, but it's not cheesy at all, which I thought was quite interesting, because sometimes you go into a musical, let's say, you know, you're watching Grease, right? and you expect the song to come in, and it's like, oh, it's this lovely cheesy music. And do you see what I mean? And it sort of fills you up with joy, but it's not set out like that. Like, there's a level of emotion within the songs. You don't really expect it, because music, in terms of even vocals, in terms of like singing and things, that's not always a focus in anime, and certainly not anime films. So this is very unique in that sense, and I don't know. I wonder how much sort of work has kind of gone into sort of adapting those songs, because I did listen to it in Japanese as well, and like I mentioned, people might disagree with me, but because you guys know that I prefer sub usually to dub, but watch this in the dub. Like, the songs just works. It just works so naturally. It's crazy.
I can tell you a lot of work went into the localization and, like, you know, the dubbing of the songs. A lot of work. And they did an amazing job.
Oh, they did a great job. And you know what? I really want these songs to be released on like Apple Music and like Spotify, because when Funimation sent me the film to watch, I had to do it through this, like, it's weird. It's like a secret thing. You just log in. They give you like a one-time passcode. You log in and you watch the film. And it expires after, well, obviously when the film releases, it expires, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you know, sometimes I just want to go back and just listen to the music. So I'll go and play the film, and I'm like, I have to cherish this moment.
Yeah.
Which... I don't know. It's just really weird for me to say, because there isn't a film that's made me feel like that.
Oh, okay.
It's
well,
true.
I appreciate that. Yeah, like, to me, the songs were not only extremely catchy, but they were just extremely well done. You know, I think they invoke, you know, a lot of emotion. I really think they do.
You mentioned that you guys record separately because of COVID and whatnot.
Yes.
So when you were watching this for the first time, did it hit you? Like, when you heard the music and the crescendos and things like that, what was your reaction to that?
I was blown away, honestly. I thought it was absolutely incredible. You know, going into record, it's like sometimes you get like bits and pieces of the other actors who've recorded. Like, maybe they got a little further than you, so they got a chance to record, you know, another scene, you know, before you did. So you're going in and you're hearing, you know, what they did, and you get to play off of them. But getting a chance to just see it as a whole, getting a chance to see the songs that were worked on, getting a chance to hear, you know, the full just effect of everyone's acting, you know, the engineers, you know, making everyone sound good, just everything. I was blown away, man. I literally just watched it, and I couldn't stop thinking, man, this is really good. Like, everyone did such a good job, and everyone just sounds so clean and so wonderful.
You know what? It amazes me as well, because it's like, I wouldn't have thought that you guys were recording in isolation, right? Just because of how fluid everything was, and nothing was janky. Even the lip flaps. We were speaking about this last time when we were talking about some anime don't have like the lip syncing done well. I don't know. It's taking it to another level. One thing that I do want to know, and this has sort of popped up into my mind now, because obviously you guys got to see the film early. I got to see the film early as well. But are you going to watch it in the cinema?
Oh, absolutely. It's something that I've been planning. I know that it's going to be playing here on the 25th, the dubbed version. So I am planning to buy my ticket, sit my butt down, and enjoy the film on the big screen, because it's not only that I want to support the film because everyone did good. I'll be honest, maybe it's a little bit selfish, but it's like seeing your name on the big screen also is just, I don't know, it's a whole different ball game. It's like a whole different feeling. So getting a chance to see that is going to be really special for me. Plus, on top of that, like I said, everyone just did a good job, and like I want to support that. You know, I want to support the film, and I want to have that experience.
Who are you going to take with you? Are you going to take your girlfriend? Because I imagine she hasn't seen the film.
I am going to take my girlfriend.
Okay,
we're going to watch it together, and then my housemates also, I've invited them, so we're going to be watching it
all together. That must be mad. Do they know that? Do they know that you're Toma, or no?
No,
or
they do.
Okay.
The cast list was, you know, announced and stuff, so they know.
Okay. No, I was just imagining that they have like a big shock on screen. They're like, oh my god, it's you. Like,
yeah. it's a little unreal.
Yeah, it must be. I mean, I don't know how, like, I'm freaking out just talking to you about it. So I don't know how it would be for you to watch that in the big screen. And I don't know if there's other people that are going to be there, like those other people on, you know.
I think there will be. I think we are trying to see if maybe we can get like a group together, but we'll see who's able to make it.
I meant bystanders. I just meant like normal people. Like if the other people are gonna be there, you're just gonna go and watch a film and leave, and they're not gonna realize that you're Toma.
Yeah, no, that's pretty funny.
That much, to me, as a concept, that's crazy. But that goes on to another thing. This is not related to the film, but when you go to the theater, when you go to the cinema, what is your go-to snacks?
Go-to snacks. Oh man, that's a tough one. I'll be honest. I'm not always the biggest fan of popcorn because I hate how the kernels get stuck in your throat.
Okay.
I would maybe say some candy. I do enjoy some Sour Patch Kids. I enjoy those gummy candies. So maybe that. Also, I'm not gonna lie. I love nachos and cheese.
Yes, my guy. Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna sell this because people get nachos in the UK, but not many people do. Like, it seems like it's just a novelty and no one orders them. But every time I go, I have to order nachos, even if I don't eat them. They're just there. They just have to be part of the cinema experience. Nachos. I don't know. Like, for me, I would get popcorn, but we're not like the US. Like, you guys have like this weird butter popcorn thing.
Yeah, it's like a liquid.
It's gross. I'm sorry. It's weird.
It's all good, man.
You know what it's like? It's like the Papa John's.
The garlic.
Yes, it reminds me of that. So it sort of puts me off. But normally I get like salt and sweet popcorn like mixed, and then I get a bag of M&Ms. Okay. And I get a slushie. I don't know if slushies are a big thing like in the US for cinema.
I mean we have them. I mean, some people get them, some people don't.
Yeah, okay.
So I think most people are into just like the standard soda, Coke, you name it.
Okay, well, fair enough. I mean, I normally get even if it's like dead of winter, because now it's like what in the UK, if you go out in the morning, it's like probably -5 degrees Celsius, so it's absolutely freezing. But I'll still order a slushie every time I go to the cinema. I'm just weird like that.
It's all good.
Also, once again, this is talking about cinema. We're not even talking about the film here. Do you sneak snacks into the cinema?
I don't go to the movies enough to sneak snacks in.
Okay.
Actually, a majority of the time, I honestly won't even buy snacks. I'll just watch the movie, and I'll have either eaten beforehand or I'll eat sometime after.
Okay, you're no fun. Half of the journey to go to the cinema is sneaking snacks that you've bought at Costco. Just like putting them inside your coat, putting them in your bag, putting them in, like getting massive cargo pants and just shoving them down your cargo pants, maybe putting like a Snickers bar in your shoe. Like, that's what it's all about.
Okay.
Like, it's weird because I think in the US you guys aren't allowed to bring in snacks at all, and I didn't know this.
Not.
So there's always something that's ingrained in the minds of a lot of people in the UK because we see a lot of American films and a lot of American TV shows where we know that you can't bring in snacks to the movie theater, but you can in the UK. You're allowed to.
I'm jealous.
But yet we still sneak them in, even though we're allowed to, which is it's like, I didn't know this until a few years ago. My friend, he came in with like a can of Coke and he was just like walking in, and I was like, dude, you can't do that. And he was like, nothing says that you can't. Nothing says that in the terms of service. And I actually went in and I read the cinema's terms of service, and I was like, wow, nothing stops me. I feel like I have all of this power. But I still try and sneak the snacks in anyway because there's a level of fun with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's part of the cinema experience. I'm trying to think what snacks am I gonna bring to the cinema? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I've seen this film a number of times now, so I'm still gonna go to the cinema. I'm still gonna watch it maybe another 2-3 times. Just because it is good. And to be honest with you, it's not like how it is in the US. Like, in the US, anime films tend to get a lot more, I wouldn't say respect, but they get a lot more attention.
Okay.
But here, you kind of get them running for like a few days and then that's it. A lot of the time, I think you'd have to sort of pre-order tickets and stuff like that. But I think it's just because of how anime is in the United Kingdom. But I'm hoping that this film does really well to the point where cinemas are like, you know what, let's extend it for another week or two, because I think it deserves it, genuinely.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that this film is definitely a very good gateway to people who maybe aren't familiar with the anime genre to just come in and watch and enjoy, you know. Like I stated before, you know, I think it deals with very realistic issues. I think people will gravitate towards that, and they'll be able to say, hey, you know, like, I see myself in these characters. This is a cute film. The songs are amazing. You know, the actors sounded great. And they'll be able to be introduced to a new genre. Maybe they'll say, hey, you know, I like this. Is there more stuff like this that I can check out?
Because we're talking about the amazing cast of characters. Who is your favorite character?
My favorite character? So I'm not gonna lie, I said this yesterday, but I want to say it's honestly Thunder.
Yes!
Because I thought he was just absolutely hilarious and came in just absolutely nailed the role. It was, he's a goofball.
You know what? I love Thunder as a character. He is a great character. I mean, all of the characters are good. There's no character that I would say, oh, I love them all. I mean, Toma is my favorite character. I will say that just because I relate to Toma. But Thunder is a close second. Thunder is, I don't know, like each character, I've noticed the way that the anime is structured, each character has their own insecurities. Right? They have their own problems, They have their own insecurities, and that's what makes them relatable, because us as human beings, we have those same insecurities. And I think
exactly,
you know, it's really nice to see that being played out, and especially with Thunder, right? He gets humiliated a lot, you know, with his judo and stuff like that. So it's about him building himself, not necessarily physically, but more so mentally, putting himself in the right frame of mind. And you see him grow as the film progresses, and you see that with a lot of other characters. But I felt as though Thunder's progression was more satisfying for me.
Yes, I agree. I can't say too much, but I definitely, when watching it, I was just like, wow, like, it's like the mindset, you can tell there's growth there.
And to be honest with you, there's growth with all the characters, and that's what sort of helps to solidify the show, and I mean solidify the film, and sort of it sticks in my mind because of that. It's like the same reason a lot of other shows and games sort of stick in my mind, just because of the fact that, I don't know, it feels very human.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very, very human. That's just what's so appealing about it. You know, I mentioned this before, but you know, the goofiness and wackiness of anime, like it's almost a breath of fresh air, which, you know, the goofiness and wackiness is great, but it's almost a breath of fresh air to be able to sit down and watch something that's a little bit more, you know, slice of life, a little bit more, you know, easy viewing, you know, a little bit more of, you know, realistic performances.
Speaking of realistic performances, previously when we had you on, we were talking about how it is to actually go in and record for an anime. And I understand the industry is changing slightly because of what's going on with the world at the moment. But in your experience, if you can sort of give us a little bit of a recap or a little bit of an overview, how, you know, was the day-to-day? What did you do? Like, for those who don't know how anime is dubbed, could you give us like a brief summary?
Sure. So right now, currently, we're still dubbing from home. I think there are a couple people that are starting to go back into the studio. I think they're just waiting for the right time to really open it up to everybody again. But I'm currently recording from home. We have a studio here. Most of the time, we'll hop on Source Connect now. We've got certain rooms with like certain passcodes that, you know, we'll go into the room. You know, we'll have the script up. We'll have the video playing. The director and the engineer will be over Source Connect now, and we'll just go to town. You know, they'll beep us in, and we pretty much just do it. It's almost like the same experience, but not entirely, of being in the studio. Like, to me personally, nothing beats being in the studio, because like, you have the director and engineer right there. Plus, you don't have to worry too much about manning your own gain, or, you know, worrying about being too loud or too soft. But honestly, it's a pretty smooth transition, and I think that we're probably going to be seeing a lot more dubbing from home, or even just recording from home in projects beyond anime. I think it's here to stay, and I think people have and studios have realized that this is an alternative should studios want to use actors that maybe don't necessarily live in the area.
Yeah, I was going to say that because obviously you guys are based in Texas, right? Because Funimation is there.
Yes, a good example is like I know Risa, who played Satomi, is based in LA, so she wasn't even here. And it's just so cool being able to get so many different actors and so many different people together working on a film, and we live in different areas.
The situation that the world is in has sort of allowed people to be a little bit more creative in the sense that, you know, back in the day, you would sort of see like voice actors residing in certain areas just because that's where the work was. It would either be Texas or I think like Toronto or like LA. And that was it. But now it's sort of opened it up a little bit more, and I think probably the people that are listening to this that are like wannabe voice actors and things like that, you could probably just stay in your own country. I mean, nothing really stops you anymore like before. Yeah, no, I mean, I know for certain shows, some directors have called people in from who live in different places, England, Australia, different just places around the world, Canada, which is good. I mean, because sometimes you'll see an anime where they have like British accents. Yeah. And I know I mentioned this last time, but there's sometimes you get British accents that are clearly too British, if that makes sense. Like they're overly like, Queen's English. You know what I mean? Like really, like I'm over exaggerating it now, but it's like you don't really see people like me voicing anime because it would just sound like really really odd, you know what I mean? So I understand that's probably why they sort of overdo the British accents a little bit. But that being said, there's going to be another ad break. I'm sorry, we got to pay the lights bill somehow. So we're going to go on a bit of an ad break and we're going to return. At the beginning of the recording, I did mention to Jordan that there is something that I tried that we mentioned last time, and we're going to talk about it after the break. So yeah. Right before we get into the ads, I want to remind you guys that we do have a Patreon page where you can support us directly for only £5 a month. It means that you don't need to listen to ads like this, as amazing as they are. It's a no-brainer. You get early access to our show as well as ad-free content for all of the podcasts that we do. Or if you decided, well, I might go for a one-time donation, you could do so on our coffee page. That's coffee.com/GetALivePodcast. That's ko-fi.com/GetALivePodcast. Our Patreon is patreon.com/GetALivePodcast. Also, consider subscribing to the podcast on whichever platform you're listening to, whether that's iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, even on YouTube. Subscribing is free. It also means that you keep up to date with the content that we do post for all of our podcasts. If you do leave a like on YouTube, or if you give us a 5-star rating on the podcast platforms, it really does help us get up in the rankings. It really does help us get more sponsorships. It helps us out a lot. You don't know how much that actually helps us. So consider leaving us a positive review, telling us all your thoughts as well, and stuff that we can improve on. Really does help me out a lot as well. Gives me a motivation. So subscribe, consider leaving a 5-star review or a comment if you're on YouTube, and enjoy the ad break and the rest of this episode. Have you ever thought, hey, I'm really into Japanese snacks and Japanese otaku goods? Well, you know what? Get yourself over to Sugoi Mart by Japan Crate. Sugoi Mart, we love them. We love Japan Crate, by the way. We've spoken about Japan Crate on the podcast before, but you know what? We've leveled up our partnership with them and our sponsorship to a Sugoi Mart one, because I wanted you guys to experience a lot more of what Japan Crate has to offer through Sugoi Mart. It's not always about snacks, guys. You can buy a lot of Japanese goods directly from Sugoi Mart, and it's fantastic service there, I will say this. You got your lucky bags. If you're really into anime, you could get Sugoi Mart lucky bags for over $100 value for only £40, right? £40. Incredibly cheap. So you're getting $100 worth of stuff for $50. That's including snacks and other goods. If you decide to go for the lucky bags, and to be honest with you, those lucky bags, you can check them out on our page, because Sugoi Mart moving forward, we're going to be showcasing the Sugoi Mart products on their site, and we're going to be showing you guys really cool, weird and wonderful stuff from Japan. We're going to be curating stuff directly there. If you like it, buy it. And you know what? Use our link, getalivepodcast.com/sugoi. That's getalivepodcast.com/SUGOI. Will take you to our Sugoi Mart page, and you can use our code GALP. That's GALP for 15% off your order. That's insane, guys. 15% off. We all know that collectibles and things from Japan can be very expensive, so 15% off, that's pretty decent. They've got some really lovely stuff on their site. Stuff from Spy Family. They've got a lot of Sanrio stuff as well. A lot of anime things. A lot of Genshin stuff. If you're really into Genshin, they got it. As well as some brands from Japan. Snacks from Japan as well. They've got a lot of One Piece stuff if you're into One Piece. They've got stuff from Muji. They've got stuff from Disneyland. They've got stuff from Universal Studios Japan. In addition to Starbucks and Studio Ghibli. Stuff that you really can't find anywhere else. I'll be honest with you. So once again, check out Sugoi Mart. It supports the show when you do. We love them. They love us. And I'm pretty sure you'll love them too. So that's getalivepodcast.com/sugoi. Use the code GALP for 15% off. Anyway, back onto the episode. Okay, we are back, and Jordan, I don't know if you remember last time, we had a little bit of a lightning round. Do you remember that?
I'll be honest, I don't actually.
Jordan, you've disappointed me now.
I'm so sorry.
No, you've ruined it. You've ruined the recording. All right, you know what? No, you know what? Okay, that's fine. You disappointed me. That's all right. I'm joking. But, just to give you a bit of a summary, we had a little bit of a lightning round, and I asked you what was your favorite pizza topping.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
What was it?
It was pineapple, I believe.
No, it wasn't. It was a combination.
Pepperoni pineapple?
That's it. Pepperoni and pineapple. And I gave you a hard time.
Okay.
And I will say this.
It's coming back to me?
Yeah, now it's coming back to you. I will say this. I did try it.
Uh-huh.
And it's amazing.
Oh, yes.
It's you've converted me, right?
Oh, perfect.
It does not make sense. How is it that good?
I don't know. It is. I question it, but I'm just like, I kind of don't question it anymore, Because you see online all the time, just, pineapple and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I don't care. I think it's good.
Yeah, it is. But how did you come up with that combination?
I think I just tried pineapple on pizza one time. Like, I can't remember where or when. I think maybe someone just had it, and I tried it, and I was like, this is pretty good. And I just started ordering it, and I was like, I'm not changing my ways. I don't care if anyone wants to judge me.
To put it on a pepperoni pizza, that's the thing that I was shocked about the most, because I like pineapple on pizza, but pepperoni, it just seems a bit weird of a combination.
A lot of people
use
good. Ham. Yeah, a lot of people do like ham and pineapple.
Well, that's a Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, let me switch the ham with pepperoni. And it was incredible.
and the legend was born.
There we go.
I'm just so shocked about that pizza thing, because when I knew having you on, I was like, you know what, I have to take one for the team and try it out. And it just shocked me. Not as much as the film shocked me, though. I will say that. I will say this. I'll go on the record. The film is better than pineapple and pepperoni pizza. It is better than that.
That's good. And pineapple pepperoni is already good, so.
It's already good, yes. So go and try that. I mentioned initially that this was a pretty big role for you. So care to inform us, how did you land this role?
Sure. So it was pretty interesting. I got the auditions for it, the audition sides. I remember just kind of saying like, oh, this looks kind of cool. So I auditioned. I noticed that it was Caitlin directing it, which I loved working with Caitlin. I've worked with her on previous stuff. I auditioned and I sent it in, and I wasn't sure what was gonna happen, but I kind of just left it out there. You know what I mean? I just kind of threw it out there and said, okay, we'll see what happens. I got the email saying, hey, you booked this role, which I remember just being so excited, because I like you said, this is my biggest anime film role and one of my biggest roles, and definitely it was one of my favorite projects to record for. But it was just incredible, because I remember auditioning and seeing the character, I was like, oh man, I don't know, should I maybe change my voice up a little bit, or try to like make it a little bit higher and like high school quote unquote sounding. And I just kind of said, let me just be myself. Let me just use my voice. That's what ended up landing. So I was like, okay, cool. So it was a lot of fun. It was a really cool experience. Like I said, just getting the chance to work with Caitlin again, I was like, that was the cherry on top.
We were discussing this before the recording, and I don't know if Caitlin is gonna listen to this. Maybe she will. You know what? Can you please share this with Caitlin, because I really want her to hear this.
Sure.
She's a legend, okay? I didn't know. When you mentioned Caitlin, I was like, who the hell is Caitlin? I didn't know. For those who don't know, we're talking about Caitlin Glass, okay? Caitlin Glass, who's in Oran High School Host Club. She's in so many other anime, and it's just, she's a legend in the anime industry, and I did not know that she's been directing. Apparently, she's been directing for quite a long time, isn't it?
Yes.
Dude, I did not even know that, but you know what? She is incredibly talented as a director.
Yes, and she's amazing. She's amazing inside and outside the booth.
You know what? I am not gonna even dispute that, okay? Because it shows in the work. And to be honest, I'm just looking at her like list of stuff that she's done, and she's like, she's like in everything.
Good. She's good.
Really good. She's really good. And I mean, I have no words to say. But in general, the cast is just pretty amazing. Who decides who gets the role? Like, is it based on your audition? Is it based on your previous works? Like, how does that happen?
It might be a little bit of both. I'm not a casting director myself, so I couldn't tell you 100%. But, you know, I would think that it's a little bit of both. You know, just kind of listening to the auditions, seeing who fits at the same time, you know, knowing actors like, hey, you know, like, is this someone who I can trust with this role? You know, is this someone who's teachable or someone who is going to be able to take direction well? So I think there's just, you know, different aspects that go into it. Like I said, I personally am not a casting director myself, so I couldn't speak 100%, but just from my experiences as an actor and speaking with a few casting directors, there's a little bit of a few, you know, there's a few different factors.
So what was your reaction when you landed the role? Like, how did you do anything crazy? Did you start jumping? What was your reaction?
I think I was just super, super excited. I think I had this big smile on my face, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like, yes, like I freaking booked something. This is incredible.
Hopefully you book more. I'll be honest with you. I mean, you deserve it. Like, you work incredibly hard. Not saying that no one else works incredibly hard. A lot of voice actors do. To be honest with you, when I saw that press release, I freaked out a little bit, because I was like, oh my god, it's Jordan. As soon as I got the original press release, I was like, okay, this might not be a film for me. Right? Okay. I'll be honest, 100%. I was like, well, I don't really watch anime films to begin with. That isn't really something that we focus on this podcast. It tends to be more, you know, week to week series based anime, right? Stuff that's based on manga, nothing that's like original content. Yeah. So when I saw your name in the press release, when they announced the cast, I was like, no, you know what? I have to watch this. Yeah, I have to. And straight away, I just responded to Funimation. I was like, Paula, I need to watch this film. Paula's the Funimation press rep, by the way. And she was like, okay, cool. Here's a link. And I was like, yes.
And you're just like, yep.
Yes.
I'm
I
good.
watched it. And you know what? I'm glad I did. Because I keep on saying this. I think this is like one of my favorite films of all time.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's a good film.
I would say that it sort of made me think a lot about what it means to be human, right? And what it means to form friendships. Because, you know, to be honest with you, you're bringing a cast of characters together that they shouldn't work as a friendship group.
Correct.
Generally, right? Because you don't see the popular kid in school hanging out with the tech nerd and, you know, the athletic jock type of person, right? They don't hang out in day-to-day life, but I don't know.
Shion kind of brings them together, yeah.
Exactly, and it's stuff like that, and I'm like, well, you know what? Shion is such a force of nature. She comes in with this sort of bubbly attitude, and people think it's weird at first, but they sort of like it. And I think maybe as human beings, we should be more like Shion, if that makes sense. Yeah, spread that energy in the world. I'm not saying go out and start singing, but what if you did that? I'm guessing a few people would smile at that. Or, you know, even if you go around your day just saying hello, you know, to your neighbors, right? Or walking down the street and waving at someone. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Just putting positive energy into the world.
Out there, yeah.
I don't know. I feel that I can learn a lot from Shion, and I'm just glad. I'm just glad that I got to see this film because it's such an inspiration.
Oh, Thank you. Well, I'm glad too. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it.
One last thing that I wanted to know
Sure.
is when you actually went into the recording booth, you mentioned that obviously you're seeing the video in terms of animation of your lines and whatnot, and you're trying to match the flaps and such.
Yes.
Did you get an opportunity to listen to the original Japanese audio
Yes.
during that time? Okay.
Yes, we so a lot of times we'll listen to the Japanese first, and then we'll go in for our own take. So we'll have the audio playing for the preview, the Japanese audio playing for the preview, and then after we listen to the preview, then it's like, okay, now there's not going to be any audio in here, and you need to act and say the line.
Do you have any final words?
First off, thank you very much for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on.
Thank you. But yeah, you know, if you guys could, you know, please support the film. It's a phenomenal film, wonderful story, wonderful cast of characters. And I think that a lot of people who watch it, you know, will take away a little something from it. You know, like I said, you know, I think a lot of people can relate to these characters. I think a lot of people can use this as an opportunity to maybe get interested in anime. And not just that, but, you know, a film like this, and I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but I really think a film like this could use all the support that it can, because it's absolutely phenomenal. And I, as just a fan of anime, I would love to see more stuff like this come out.
I mean, I completely agree with you. And you know what? I will go one step further and I'll say, if you are listening to this, I know you're an anime fan. Otherwise, you're not going to be listening to this podcast. So do yourself a favor. And if you already haven't pre-ordered your tickets in the United Kingdom, go to your nearest cinema, or you can go on the Funimation website actually to see which cinemas are going to be showing this film, and just go up, buy a ticket, buy 2 tickets, buy 10 tickets, go and watch it again and again and again, because the more you watch these films, the more money it makes sense, but it also gives an indication to the studios that people react positively to this, and so they're going to make more, or they'll put more effort into similar projects in the future. And to be honest with you, this is a excellent studio, excellent voice cast, both in Japanese and in English. It's getting distributed by Funimation, a company that, you know, we all know and love, so you're not going to get sort of messed around there. And in general, it's just a great film. That's just it. So go and buy your tickets. I would say it's fun for all the family in a way. Buy one for your dog, buy one for your grandma, buy one for your uncles. Everyone's going to enjoy this film. I don't think I can find someone that won't enjoy this film, even if you're an anime fan or not. And it was interesting because it won an audience award at Scotland Loves Anime Festival in Glasgow. So usually with that festival is that they get a lot of films that are basically around the time it's being aired in Japan, so they'll get like a preview to show people.
Yeah.
And sort of get reactions and stuff like that. And what's lovely about this festival, it's not like an actual film festival. It's done in small cinemas in Scotland.
Okay.
So you're getting people that are just buying tickets to watch these films, and a lot of the time they're not even anime fans, which is great. Yes, so they're coming in and they're watching anime films. Like, I was speaking to one of the people that run the film festival, and they were saying, well, you get a lot of elderly couples coming in and watching anime, and you get their thoughts, and they really like it. And so, like I said, go and watch this film. This is a great film. You're not going to regret it. One thing I wanted to end this off with, my apologies, I didn't thank Funimation in the beginning. I should have. So thank you, Funimation, for also bringing this film out to the West, for co-producing this film with JC staff, and also thank you for allowing this to happen, because obviously there's a lot of permissions that needed to happen for this conversation to go ahead. And also thank you for giving me the opportunity to watch the film early. I'm guessing thank you for bringing Jordan on for this project. I imagine I'm just thanking everyone.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because I love this film so much, I can't imagine a world without it. I know I'm singing its praises, but it is worth it. Go and watch the film, guys. But Jordan,
yes,
where could people find you?
They can find me on social media, on Twitter and on Instagram. I am the @Cruz VA. That's DASHCRUZ A. I'm most active on there, like Twitter. Instagram, I'm not as active, but I can, I'll hop on from time to time. But yeah, that's where you can find me. I will post things about acting, things about, projects that I'm in, or sometimes just, fun little memes or, thoughts that I have. So yeah, feel free to follow me on there, and feel free to follow Funimation as well, because I know that they're the ones that are, they helped produce this amazing film.
Follow Funimation. I was gonna say follow Funimation UK because my guys are there. So
there we go.
Follow Funimation UK before you follow Funimation US. Just follow Funimation UK because they need some love as well.
Yes.
They need some love as well. So yeah, go follow Jordan. You can also follow us on Twitter if you guys like. We're at Get Life Podcast as normal. And I think that's it. Bye.
Bye.